to my cluttered garage. I'm really glad you're here. A place where we can laugh and talk and days are filled with cheer. The clouds and sun may come and go, but one thing's always clear. Welcome back, my friend. You know I'm really glad you're here. Yeah.
Hey, welcome back, my friends. Welcome to live stream number 202. Is that right? Yes, it is. Live stream number 202, June 30th, 2025, if you can believe it. It's the last day of June. And we are what? This is technically 10 days into summer. Summer started June 20th. And we're already, I guess this is considered our second heat wave, or unless it's just still the first long heat wave. But 3 days after summer hit, we're in a heat wave. And it's been, well, hot and humid. But here we are, another Monday night. If you're just joining us for the first time, we'd like to welcome you. We talk about the channel here and projects that I do on the property. And we just talk about a lot of tractors, attachments, outdoor projects, the rural lifestyle, so to speak. But if it is your first time here, please say hi in the live chat so that we can welcome you appropriately. Let me know how you found the channel. Was it Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, or TikTok? And you can come back every week, every Monday at 7 p.m. Eastern time for 1 hour and 1 hour only. And we will get together. But we have a nice core group of people who come here every week. And I'm so touched and honored that you come back each week and talk to me, talk to other channel enthusiasts. And it's a great way to get together. I see in the comments that our friend Hunter was here early. And Hunter, all your groupies, it looks like they're here as well. Who did I see? Sister Holly is here. And who were you mentioning too? Jen and somebody else as well. You said Kat or somebody. Anyway, welcome to everyone. I see that our friend Ross on the land is here. How you doing, Ross? And Chris from the Watershed Overlook. And so many of our regulars. Who's your handyman? And of course, Ann. Hi, Ann. She's downstairs. Yes, Chris, been enjoying the watershed, the wildlife. Ross has been posting some shorts, some on a wildlife camera, or there was a fox and deer, so kind of fun. I had set up a wildlife camera, not a wildlife camera, but it was just a Reolink security camera. And I set it up. I made a video about it. I liked it, but it was a little clunky. And I mentioned in the video that this was well over a year ago, maybe almost 2 at this point. Thanks for hitting that thumbs up. But I mentioned it was a little clunky with capturing footage and whatnot. So I haven't set it up again. It's still on the barn, but I use my Ring cameras for mostly everything else. But I would like to get a decent wildlife camera and just set it out by the creek, because we see all kind of deer prints back there. Of course, a lot of them are sheep prints because we take walks with the sheep, but we recognize that the deer go down there and drink. And I would just like to see what's happening back in the woods when we're not back there. So if you have any suggestions for a good wildlife camera, I like the ones like the Reolink that I have. Maybe I'll just set that up again. It has a memory card that goes into it, or a SIM card, basically. So it's like its own phone network. So you can access it from your phone anywhere. If you get a movement on the camera, you'll get a notification. You can open up, you can view the camera. And that's the part that was kind of clunky. And that may be the case with all of them. But at any rate, I'd like to have a good security camera or wildlife camera back there. And also, it'd be nice to have the solar panel to charge the battery. But if you're in the woods, you have to put the solar panel where it's going to get, it's a little panel. So you got to get it where it's going to capture some sunlight. Anyway, hello, Wade. Hello, Linda. So tonight, we're just kind of this is a free roll kind of night. We had Mike last week from American Meadows, and boy, he was fun to talk to. That was the second time having him on the show, pretty much a year apart. And he knows his wildflowers and his business. So today's the last day with the code expiring for American Meadows. If you did want to order anything, you probably still can, but there's a discount code that you can use, and today is the last day for that. And that's Garage 25, and that a lot of numbers here. Garage 25 gets you 10% off any order of $50 or more at AmericanMeadows.com with this code. It expires today, so whether it's still good or not, I don't know. But if you're thinking about ordering some wildflowers from American Meadows or plants or seeds or anything they have, go to AmericanMeadows.com and fill up your cart and apply the code Garage25. See if it gives you the 10% off, and you'll know if the code works. And then either place the order, or if you choose not to at that point, that's okay too. But I just want you to benefit as best you can from the relationship that we have now with American Meadows. So there it is right there. So that was a lot of fun talking to Mike last week. I hope you enjoyed that. If you didn't see that, you can catch the playback. I noticed that on Facebook now, I'm getting notifications that my live streams will be deleted after, I don't know, 30 days or 60 days. So they live on forever on YouTube, but not on Facebook. So Facebook, we're streaming right now to YouTube and Facebook. It'll be available on Facebook, but then I get a notification saying, this live stream is going to be deleted. So save it if you want it. I guess they're trying to save space on their servers, maybe because live is like a big deal now. Probably less of a big deal on YouTube, although I guess a lot of people go live directly on YouTube. But I know live is a big thing on TikTok and Facebook. So, those servers have to be available to record all that video information. It's a lot of data. So that's my point there. So anyway, tonight we're just going to chat. If you do have a question for me about the channel, again, if you're new here, welcome. If it's your first live stream, we want to welcome you. If you have a question and you want me to see your question, then you can post it in the live chat in this format right here with the word question followed by your question. And that'll stand out for me and for our host of experts in the live chat. Oftentimes, I see questions being asked, and then folks in the live chat answer the questions beautifully, much better than I could. And then, of course, I have to say that a little bit later on, we're going to do a sticker giveaway. And I want to tell you about these stickers here because it's kind of a funny story. I kept saying in the live streams that that I was running out of stickers, and I kept saying this may be the last sticker I have. I had, some of these, but these, which I designed myself, and I had printed. Use of this machinery may be addictive. I kept saying this may be the last one because I couldn't find any anywhere. So I ordered some new ones, but I changed the design just a bit because I thought the word equipment was a little better than machinery. So now it says use of this equipment may be addictive instead of machinery, because I think equipment is more universal than machinery. But anyway, the funny story is I ordered these. Use of this equipment may be addictive. I got a couple hundred of these in, and then I was going through my bag from the farm machinery show. I've got a backpack that I had my equipment in, and I had a box of business cards, and I opened the box of business cards, and along with the cards was a whole stack of these stickers because I had been giving away there. So anyway, I've got a bunch of both, and maybe it'll be a surprise what you get when we do the sticker giveaway, or maybe you'll email me and say I want this one or that one, or it's no big deal. They're just fun. So we'll be doing that a little bit later on before we wrap up. So you'll want to stick around for that, because we do that pretty much every Monday night. Let me let me nerd out here for a second. Since we have nothing really to talk about in particular, I do want to talk about. I've got a new piece of equipment coming probably tomorrow that I've been waiting for like 6 weeks. I'm excited about that. I'll be sharing that with you. All right, I'm going to nerd out here because I know I have some. And I say this in the kindest way. I know I have some fellow video nerds out there. Wade, I'm talking to you, buddy. Uh, so I'm using this. I'm using this webcam, which is built in to the MacBook Pro, and it's pretty decent. I think it does a good job. I used to set up my little mirrorless camera, which looks fantastic, and then something happened with the firmware where it didn't talk to the computer. I think that's fixed now, but I just haven't done it because I got used to using the built-in camera on the MacBook, and I think this looks pretty fine. It's okay for what we're doing here. But I also use these lights. See, I've got this light in the back that adds a little splash of color. I've got a light in the front here, and it's set up at like 4,200 Kelvin temperature, and it's got a little soft screen on it, and just gives me some light here. But I noticed I was playing with the colors behind me, and it changes the color of my skin tone because the camera is trying to white balance, and it's really struggling with that blue or purple wall back there. When I adjust the color of the wall, the white balance is trying to compensate for that, and it messes with my complexion and my skin tones. So just before going live, I'm Googling, like, is there a way to lock down color temperature settings on the MacBook webcam, which I think there's not. There might be some third party software out there. I don't know. If you're aware of anything, let me know or shoot me an email. I'm curious about that. If not, I'm thinking I might go back to an external camera. But what I like about this is that the camera is right up here. So as I'm looking at the screen, I'm almost looking at the camera, where when I set the other camera up off the side, now I'm looking over here and I'm not really making eye contact with you. So anyway, you can even see as I'm moving my hands, that white balance is shifting. See that? Like now I'm kind of grayish in color. And then I come down here and it's shifting on me. And I don't like that. I don't like that. So awesome, Kyle. Kyle from Spicer Designs is going to be a guest one day on a live stream. But if you haven't checked out Spicer Designs, go check it out. It's a very entertaining channel. It's a little bit of what we do here, a little bit not. But you guys are diverse when it comes to liking certain types of content. And Kyle's like a DIYer, very entertaining gentleman, I must say. So we'll have Kyle on here. Meanwhile, check out Spacer Designs, get to know Kyle, get to know his channel. And that way, when we do hook up here with a live stream, live chat, you'll have questions for Kyle. Thanks for the reply, Kyle. All right. I'm going to go back and look at some comments now. Chris with the dad jokes. I could have a bunch of those ready. What do you call a teacher that never passes gas in public? A private tutor. That's funny. I'm not going to go off on a tangent here. Believe me, don't worry about that. But here's a problem I have. I don't have a good memory for some reason when it comes to jokes. Like I love a good joke, and I'm like, I'm going to remember that and be able to pull that out of my pocket. And I'm not good at it. I'm just not. So I've got on my phone here, when I hear something, I put it on my phone, and I think I'm going to reference that someday because it's just kind of fun. So the latest one I heard, uh, all right. Well, they're all dumb. They're all just dumb. All right, here's one. I went to a magician school, but I failed the final exam because they were all trick questions. Speaking of school, right, Chris? See, it doesn't work when you have to read it all the time. Are people who take care of chickens called chicken tenders? Okay, enough of that, or I will definitely start to lose you for sure. Uh, All right. There's our friend Hunter again. Hunter, I hope that hope you're enjoying summer, and I hope you're getting some time on your tractor and enjoying the farm and doing all kind of fun things. Okay. All right, I'm just checking out some comments. Don't mind me. Okay, here's a question. See, this is what I'm talking about. It's not for me. This question isn't for me. It's a random question put out there for you, the experienced viewers. Linda has a question about her chickens. See, I just told that chicken joke. Linda is a chicken tender, right? She has a question. She has a fox eating her chickens. Borrowed a couple hunting cameras from my hunting nephew, but it's tricky to put it just right. Any fox catching tips? I have a trap too, but I keep catching my barn cats. That's the thing about the cats. They're so curious. Anyway, those of you who have chickens, maybe you can help Linda out here. I have not had chickens for a long time. I used to have them at the other property probably 30 years ago. I didn't have a good chicken coop set up. I just had an old shed and it worked. And I had it in the back corner of the property, which was not a good idea because it was too remote, basically. It was too safe for something to get the chickens. But I had them for a good year or more, and I would let them out in the morning. They were free range chickens. At night, they would go in the shed. I'd close the shed door, feed them in the shed, and it was all fine. It was good for until it wasn't. And then I had, I guess, a fox because back then, webcams and hunting cameras were not really a thing, I guess. Uh, but what I found was that every day I would lose a chicken for like a month. It's like every day or two, another one missing, another one gone until they were done. And I never figured it out. Um, there were rats living under the shed because it was, it was like a garden shed, and that was raised up off the ground, and there were rats. And one time, now again, I'm like 20 years old, 25 years old at this time. So I had the uh, the shed for the chickens, and I had bales of hay in there. Why? I don't know why I had bales of hay in there, but I had bales of hay in there, and I had an old piece of gutter along the one wall, aluminum gutter, and that's how I would feed the chickens. Just dump the corn or the chicken feed in this gutter, and then the chickens would perch on the gutter or in front of it and eat the grain. Well, one day I must have seen a rat to think of this. So one day, uh, I piled up the bales of hay so I could get behind them, and I got behind the hay with my 12 gauge shotgun, and I fed the chickens, and I waited behind the hay. And I don't think it took even 3 minutes. I'm back there, and all of a sudden, through a hole in the floor, I see a little head come up, and then a big rat body. And this big rat body comes up, and he starts eating the corn in the gutter. And then another little rat head comes up, and a big fat rat body comes up, and they're eating the corn, like right with the chickens. Like they didn't care. They're just eating it. So I'm thinking, I don't know how many rats are under this shed, but it was grossing me out. Anyway, I aimed and fired at the rat, and I got, well, the one ran. But anyway, I did this for a couple days. It was kind of sporting, but also, again, I was young. I blew holes in the side of the shed because I was inside the shed, and I just thought I'm going for it, and I just blew holes in the shed. That's all I can say. I don't want to get too graphic about that, but those rats were bugging me. Was that wrong to do? I don't know. Again, 30 some years ago. But let's help Linda out with her question about the fox getting her chickens, because that's really frustrating. And you may have heard this before, but foxes are very sly creatures. Okay. And, the traps, like, I would think the traps are a great idea, but uh, like Linda said, she's catching the barn cats. And what are you going to do? When when you got barn cats running around, you can't put them all away. So I don't know. Hey, Dave, good to see you. The trailer repair is going very well. I'm going to call it pretty much done at this point. You know, I replaced, if you watched the last video I made, Dave, I put a toolbox on the tongue of the trailer. Before that, I put new deck boards on so that the toolbox, or just the storage box in the front for my chains and my chain binders, I put that on, which is kind of like the finishing touch for me to have all that gear available to me. So I put the toolbox on previously. I put the new deck boards on. Before that, a new jack on the front. Before that, new lights and wiring. Before that, new tires and wheels. And yeah, it's really done at this point. You could certainly go further. The fenders are dented up. They do have some rust, but they're still solid enough. So I don't plan to replace the fenders. I could grind them off easy enough, buy new fenders and weld them in place. But it's not a showpiece trailer. It's a functional trailer. It's not an unattractive trailer. I'm not embarrassed to show up with it anymore. So if anything, maybe I would put a coat of black paint on it again, just to spruce it up a bit. But it's not bad. So it's, in my mind, it's done. Um, and I will keep it and I will use it until I decide to replace it, which is not very likely. But I would like to replace it because it's 16 feet long, and I would like to have probably an 18 footer. I think that extra 2 feet would really help when you have the tractor with the front end loader and an attachment hanging off the back. Like my bush hog, for instance, hangs off the back when I have it all on the trailer, which isn't the end of the world. It's hanging off a little bit. It's fine. But I think an 18 footer would be ideal for that setup. And if I had a bigger tractor, when I get a bigger tractor, I might need a bigger trailer. So, but I haven't had it for 38 years. You know the story that I bought it 38 years ago. Bought it 38 years ago, sold it for a decade, bought it back. But anyway, it's been in my life now for 38 years. But I'd probably let it go again to get something a little bit bigger. Wow, Phil, foxes are difficult. They got yours during the day, and foxes are they're nocturnal, right? So they're brave little suckers. That one little fox was thinking, you know what? I got an idea. Everybody else is sleeping during the day. I can go get the chicken during the day. See, sly fox. And then the other foxes are waking up like, where'd you get that chicken, man? I go, oh, you were sleeping. That's what happens. Yep. Holly's got chickens. Very hard to catch a fox. Sorry, Linda. You're getting sympathy, but not but not help, right? A lot of sympathy. Farm dog. Well, that actually, Phil. Now there is an idea, Linda. Now I know you can't. You're not going to leave your dogs outside, probably. But if you were to take your chicken coop and put the chickens away at night, and then fence in the chicken coop with like a 4-foot fence around it, and then you keep a dog in the fenced in area, so the dog can't get the chickens and the fox can't get in because the dog's like, it's like a moat basically. So I would, like, if you fence it in, 4-foot fence, and then you have a dog circling a chicken coop, a guard dog. That would do it. Guard dog. But that would mean you have to find a dog that you're willing to leave outside. And I know that your dogs live a very high profile life and are not outside at night. But that, I think you're right, Phil. I think that really would work it. Yep, I think that would work very well. Oh, and John said the same thing. Got to get the dog. So keep the dogs out there. I wonder now, what about like our neighbor who has sheep? And you've seen the donkey on some of my videos because I've gone over there and made friends with Donkey. And he has the donkey because the donkey is supposed to keep predators away from the sheep, specifically coyote. So I wonder if a donkey would keep the fox away. And I know you want a donkey, even if you got a miniature donkey. So same thing, put the chicken coop in a fenced in area, and then you keep the donkey in with the chicken coop. So same thing as the dog. You got the chicken coop, and then you got a fenced in area around it, and you got a donkey circling the chicken coop. And I wonder if the donkey would scare away the fox. It's a thought. And that way you've protected your chickens and you've got the donkey that you always wanted. I think we're solving this. I think we're doing it. Yep, I think so. Oh yeah, Turbo John, check out a Ritter Bit Will Do. John's talking about his turbo on his BX. That's really exciting. I can't wait to see that thing in action. I watched your video today, John, where you started it up and showed the difference between the performance muffler and the open pipe, whatever you had there. Pretty neat. And I'm really curious about what you'll feel in the horsepower difference. And it looked like a really neat kit. If you have a Kubota BX and you want to put a turbo kit on it, check out John's channel because this is a neat bolt-on kit. They don't looks like they don't make it for the B series. So I'm stuck with what I have at this point. But for the BX series, they have it available. John, you could remind us what that company is because I forget what it is. But really a beautiful looking kit. And John made it sound like it's pretty easy to bolt on. So Ross, you have fox kids playing with your chickens and cats. I don't know. Those foxes might be making an end, and then when you least expect it, I don't know. There's a good idea, farm girl. Holly, I believe that is right. Uh, to put something in the track that cats don't like, but foxes do like. I wonder what that would be. That's something else you can look up. What do foxes like that cats don't like? Don't know, right? Good point though. Yeah, something that foxes like that cats don't like. But cats like everything, right? Cats are sort of scavengers themselves. Hey, Thomas from Southwest Michigan. Thanks for being here tonight. Farm girl, nothing bothers your chickens. Well, you're very lucky. You probably have a good setup, I guess, where it's maybe difficult for the fox to come in. And Dale saying, I've never tried to catch a fox, but I can tell you that a groundhog is almost impossible to catch. Snap trap, I have caught a groundhog, but it took several months before I got it. Well, Dale, you might be familiar with my stories here that when we bought the farmhouse here, we trapped 7 groundhogs living around and under the house. 7. Actually, we're up to 8 because I trapped another one just this year, which I totally surprised me. Like with Hachi running around the house, leaving her scent everywhere, this one groundhog still decided to burrow under one of our decks. And I saw it on the webcam or the ring camera. This groundhog just sitting on the deck, like they own the place. So I trapped it. I got it, and it wasn't hard. What I found with groundhogs is that I don't use a snap trap. I don't like that. But we have the live traps, and I was told to put cantaloupe. The groundhogs like cantaloupe. I also read that they have a very keen sense of smell and that you're not supposed to touch the cantaloupe because it could leave your scent on it. I didn't worry about that because I thought I would like one time I tried putting rubber gloves on to cut up the cantaloupe and put it in there. And then I thought, but I bought the cantaloupe in the store. I picked it up. Other people have probably touched it. So I thought, I'm not going to worry too much about that. So I put cantaloupe in there. Some of them were indeed very difficult to trap. It took a long time. But then this other one, well, basically this last one, I saw his entry and exit point under the deck. So I put the trap right at that point, and I put a piece of plywood next to the trap so that basically he had to run through the trap, and I put brush on top, a little bit of brush, so when he ran out, he would basically run into the trap, and that I think that worked. Not the case here for Linda, but I can tell you, groundhogs, they can be tricky. It was very tricky to catch the 7 of them, but luckily they are, for the most part, they have homes out in the woods. We see the holes all over the place, but they're at least they're away from the house, and I don't see any burrowing under the barn or anything nearby there. So, and they've got plenty of forest out there, so there's no reason for them to come up here. And we don't have, well, actually, Ann does have a couple tomato plants. I was going to say we don't have a big vegetable garden this year, because I know that attracts them as well. Dave's suggesting poultry electric fence. Now that's a good thought too, Linda. If you got some fine mesh electric fence, maybe run that around, and maybe that would scare the fox away. Oh, Linda says daytime too. Another smart fox. Okay. Well, thanks for the question, Linda, because this has become a show about chickens and foxes. Yeah. Oh, you got them locked in all the time now. Yeah, that's no fun for the chickens either. There you go. Fox Terrier. Game over. Go adopt it, Linda. Go adopt a fox terrier. Oh, and David was saying that donkeys keep snakes away. Okay. Those donkeys, they're a multi-purpose animal, aren't they? Yeah, you could get a free-range donkey. Do that too. Just let them stay around. Hydro Plus, thank you, John. That's the name of the company that sells the turbo kit for the BX. Also, the cylinders that John put on that increased his lift capacity of his BX. I think today you said that you could lift up to 1,200 pounds with a BX, which is really what I can lift now with my adjustment that I made to my B series, because that's rated like 1,000 pounds. So Hydro Plus, they have some really high quality, interesting parts. Okay. I'll be quiet for a moment. Oh yeah, so John has a skunk issue. Yeah, did I share with you that Hachi got skunked last week for the 3rd time in her life? Once was at the other property, and then once was when we first came here, and then the other day, last week. We lucked out though. She still smells, but she didn't get a direct hit. The first couple times she got it, and they're like years apart. This has been over the course of several years. The first time she got it, it was a direct hit. I mean, she was wet from being sprayed. It was in her face and on her chest, and it was just disgusting. It was horrible. The second time, which is we were here, she got it again, and it was still bad. She was still wet with it. It's just a nasty, horrible thing. This time she must have just barely gotten it, because you can smell it on her, but it's not anywhere near as bad as it was. The trick for skunks, now this is, I don't know about getting rid of the skunks, John. I had at the other property, when I had barn cats, the skunk would come out and it would eat with the cats, just like Ross is saying with the fox. The skunk would just be like one of the cats. And so I don't know what to say about the babies. I think probably just let them be too, and maybe they'll move on. Then you can secure that shed so that nothing can get under it. But anyway, so if your dog gets skunked, or your cat, I guess, I don't know how you wash a cat. They don't, I remember the old Looney Tunes cartoons. Cats hate water. So if your dog gets skunked, what I found from the internet, I also called a friend of ours who is a professional dog groomer, and they said the best bet, first of all, is to time is your friend on this. If you can do it immediately, get baking soda and cover that animal with baking soda where it got hit, because the baking soda will absorb that skunk oil, hopefully, a good amount. So do that, and then it's a bath with baking soda, hydrogen peroxide, and like Dawn dishwashing liquid. And that's what I did. I went to the store and I bought some big bottles of hydrogen peroxide. I didn't put her in a tub with water, just pure hydrogen peroxide. Now she's a pretty little dog. So I actually put her up on a picnic table and I just poured the hydrogen peroxide on her, the back of her neck, and just wet her down with hydrogen peroxide, sprinkled the baking soda all over her, and heavy. I like, just use as much as you can. Baking soda all over, and then squirting her with more hydrogen, and then the Dawn dishwashing soap all over the place as well, scrubbing her with that, and then rinsed her off with more hydrogen peroxide, and then ultimately rinsed her off with water. And that is the advice that I've gotten. And to say it works, yeah, I would say it works, but the only thing that's going to really make it go away is just waiting. I think they actually have to shed out those hairs, probably, once they shed. And being be very clear with my words here, when they shed out the hairs, I think that's when the smell goes away. Otherwise, you can do your best to get rid of it, but you're not going to get rid of it completely, other than just time. And I think if it gets on their skin, maybe that helps, but I think it just gets absorbed into the hair. So until they go through a shedding cycle, then that's really the best way. We had a what was the one, Anne, that got skunked so bad? Oh, it was the husky mix, Max. Oh my gosh, he got skunked. We didn't know it. He came in the house and we're like, what's wrong with Max? He's going down the hallway and like rubbing the side of his face against the hallway as he goes down the hallway. And he's like rubbing on the carpet because he had it in his eyes, and he's just rolling and rubbing. He went back in the bedroom. He's like rubbing against the bedspread. And then we realized immediately what was happening. And that was the worst. The smell infiltrated the whole house, like for days afterward. Even once he was out of the house, you'd open the kitchen cabinets and the smell would waft out of skunk. Like, it gets everywhere. We had to have him shaved down. It was so bad, they just shaved all of his hair off. And the hard part is that when a dog gets skunked, it's usually in their face, so you can't shave their face down. So we just, from the neck down, he was terrible. Terrible, I tell you. Yep. So we're talking about foxes and skunks tonight. Impromptu conversation. But I'll change the subject now and answer Dave's question. How was the bike ride the other day? What Dave is referring to, not a bicycle ride, bike ride, meaning dirt bikes. And this is what Dave's referring to is I went out with the kids for Father's Day weekend. We had gone to this anthracite outdoor adventure area in Cole Township, Pennsylvania, around Shamokin, PA. But it's a 3-hour drive from where we are. So, but it's a big mine that is no longer in operation. Hundreds of miles of riding trails at this facility. And we took the dirt bikes out there. The last time we did this was Father's Day weekend, 2015. So this was our 10-year redo of that, redux. And Pennsylvania has a lot of hills and a lot of rocks, especially this anthracite area, which is a lot of rocks from mining. And I guess they mined coal and maybe stone as well. You're talking a lot of stones this size, a lot of boulders. There were Jeeps there going over, like they have an area they call it the Rubicon of the East, and it's a man-made area, but they took these big boulders and they placed them. But for the most part, a lot of the trails, they're hilly, they're rocky, they're challenging, and I was very sore. I still am, as a matter of fact, because riding motorcycles, at least if you're not like riding a touring motorcycle, but to ride a dirt bike, it's very physical. Like if you tell someone they're going out to ride the dirt bike, I think if you're not familiar with dirt bikes, you think, oh, cruising around with a dirt bike, that sounds fun, riding around. No, it's intense. Like, it is constant. I was telling Anne, at least with the rocks, imagine riding a bicycle and the whole time somebody's trying to push you off and you're like, it's hard. And I got better and better. as I rode, and the kids said, just go faster, because anytime I dropped the bike, which I did not drop it on this trip once. In the past, I dropped it. I had a slower old bike back then, but I realized that anytime I ever dropped the bike was because I was going too slow. I never dropped the bike going fast. I never fell off the bike going fast. It was always when I was going too slow and I couldn't, hold the bike up, or it'd hit a rock and fall over, or it'd stall it and then drop it. Um, so this time I got a little more confident and I went a little faster, and it was better. A little scary, but it actually is better. And um, the best advice I got was that the motorcycle is like a gyroscope. It wants to stay up as long as it has momentum. It wants to stay up, and that clicked for me to think, all right, that's why I need to go faster. Because you think about even riding a bicycle. When you're riding a bicycle, and how many of us did this as kids? You get going fast enough, you take your hands off the handlebars, and you're freewheeling, and you can even turn by leaning a little bit, without even touching the handlebars, because that bike wants to stay up. As long as you're moving, it wants to stay up. And I thought, well, that's a great principle for the motorcycle. It wants to stay up. So that was helpful. But my knees hurt, my neck hurts, my back hurts. I guess everything hurts. I think my eye sockets hurt because it's a lot, and I'm 10 years older than I was. I'm by no means. I like to refer to myself as an old man, but I know I'm not. At 57 years old, that's still a young, spry person. But when you get into your 50s, at least what I'm finding is that you definitely don't have the strength that you had. Um, like for instance, if I were to squat down right now, I can't just spring back up. I got to grab onto the counter or the table or something. Um, but it used to be from a squat, I could just bounce back up. And maybe a lot of you guys in your 40s can still do this, but just you wait. I'm telling you, just you wait and you'll see uh, it changes. So, yeah, knees are a little sore. I got actually, at one point, I had gone through this there was a lot of water there too. So I went through this big puddle, like a small pond almost. And then I turned around because I wanted to watch the kids come through it. And I mean, the kids are 20s, I'm not talking kids, but anyway, I wanted to watch them come through. So I turned to my left, and when I did, my right knee hit the exhaust on the bike, and it took a minute it took a few seconds for the heat to get through my jeans, and then it burned my knee, and I've got this big old blister on my knee that hurts too. So anyway, it was fun. It was fun for sure. Well, thanks, Hunter, for liking the New Jersey shirt. I wore that especially tonight because I got this New Jersey T-shirt at a local truck stop. Oops, why is that up there? Has that been up the whole time? I got this T-shirt at a local truck stop, and I thought that's pretty neat, because I do like New Jersey, and I think what I like about New Jersey is that my whole life I wasn't raised to believe this, but I heard that New Jersey was like the armpit of the country. Like people are like, "Oh, New Jersey, it's refineries and factories and pollution." And I thought, I don't know where this is coming from because I grew up here in the country and it's beautiful. Um, but people complain about New Jersey, high taxes, high car insurance, expensive cost of living. I get it, it is, but you know what? You live here, you adjust your life to fit that, and you know, you just adjust. So anyway, I love New Jersey. I had a job that took me through pretty much the entire state of New Jersey. So I saw the top of the state, which was almost New York, the mountains, much like the riding terrain we were in this weekend. But the mountains, and then you go down to the beach, the shore areas. You've got the pinelands, the forested areas. New Jersey is a cool state. It is a shame that since we are the most densely populated, I think that's why we're so expensive, because people cost money. The more rural the state, the cheaper the living, because people cost money. So we've got roads to maintain, schools, security, all that. It's when you have more people, it costs more. Anyway, New Jersey is an awesome state because you have it's like every state rolled up into one. And of course, wherever you are in the state, you're not far from a major city. So if you like to go up to New York, for us, it's a 3-hour drive or train ride, whatever. But we're 45 minutes from Philadelphia. So not that we ever go into the city, but sometimes we have, and it's pretty cool. Point is, if you like that stuff, you can be kind of everywhere. New Jersey is an awesome state, and I will continue to be an advocate for New Jersey. And don't trash my state, okay? Because it's really beautiful here, and it's a great place for sure. So there's my rant from Hunter liking my New Jersey shirt. You should like where you live. I'm not saying my state is better than any other state, but it's where I live, and I love it. And if I moved to another state, hopefully I would have the opportunity to choose the state that I moved to, and I would equally probably love that state because I chose it. I didn't choose to live here. I was born here, but I'm very fortunate to live where I do in this rural part of the state. So notice my white balance is changing as the sun's going down in the back. I'm going to work on that. I'm going to figure out this white balance because it's bugging me now. It's bugging me. So, all right. That's all I got to say about that. Why is my mouse isn't working? This could mess us up for the night, couldn't it? If my mouse doesn't work, right? It's not moving. You know what that music means? It's sticker time. Sticker time. I will say these are the stickers I'm going to give away. One of the orange one and the yellow one. Who knows what you'll get? But if you have won these stickers in the past, generally it's nice to not enter because you want to give somebody else a chance to win. Here's how it works. If you're new to the live stream, I'm going to share a word or a phrase on the screen. You're going to type the word or phrase in the live chat exactly the way you see it. You only need to do it one time, and we will randomly draw a winner. And tonight's word or phrase, since we were just talking about motorcycles, hashtag bike. Make sure you use the hashtag. And it could be uppercase or lowercase. It doesn't matter. Hashtag bike. And when this song runs out, we'll draw. I'm wiping off my mouse. I need good control. So, hashtag bike. I was going to say hashtag mouse. Just like Kevin did. Just like Hunter did. See? Kevin did lowercase, Hunter did uppercase. Thomas, hashtag bike. It's just that easy. And I will mail these stickers to you after you win. These are vinyl stickers. They can be placed outdoors. They've held up pretty well on my tractor and some of my equipment. So they're, they're probably not UV protected or whatnot, but they last. They hold it pretty well. Very nice. I've got one in the back of the truck. And that's what we're going to be doing here. Just like that. It's just a fun thing we do every week. Jennifer, good luck. Hashtag bike. Hunter is entering multiple times, but Hunter, it doesn't matter. It's going to throw away all your entries except for one of them. So it doesn't give you any benefit to enter multiple times. But if you like it, you can enter multiple times. It doesn't bother me. So, yeah, the bike I was riding is a gas. Pretty bike. Reminds me of Evel Knievel. Right. So, we better draw. Here we go. Cow. Who's our winner? Well, it's Ray Plummer. Congratulations, Ray Plummer. You are the winner of tonight's sticker giveaway. All right, Ray. Here's the deal, my friend. Send an email to this email address, contactmcgtv@gmail.com, and provide your mailing address, whether it be in the States or Canada or anywhere else in the world. I'll get these stickers to you. I promise I will. So, you need to send me an email and say, hey, I was a sticker winner for June 30th, 2025. Show number 202. No, you don't have to mention all that. But anyway, just mention you were the sticker winner for June 30th and just say, here's my mailing address, and you'll get them in the mail. It's just that easy. Congratulations, Ray. Congratulations to you. All right. So, let me know if you would. Oh, what other kind of things you want to see in the channel? That reminds me, I told you I was going to tell you what's coming up. So, who's your handyman? I'll answer that question quickly. No, I've never been to Chowder Fest, but I like New England clam chowder over Manhattan style. Manhattan style is like the watery kind. New England's the white sauce. I like New England clam chowder with the potatoes and the clam chowder, all that. Anyway, that's the answer to that question. Yeah, because I'm not a soup eater, and if I am, I like a thicker soup, almost like a stew, sort of. Anyway, I was going to tell you, I've got this new piece of equipment coming, and you've seen me run the Woodland Mills wood chipper, and surprise, I got a new one coming, I think tomorrow, and it's their new Pro Series. It's still the 68 size, which is for mid-size tractors. Mine's a WC 68. This one is the TF 68 Pro, and it's got the TF stands for twin flywheel. So they've designed this new wood chipper that has two flywheels. The one has the cutting blades, the shear blades that shear the branch, the log as it goes through. Then it has another flywheel, and I haven't seen it yet, obviously. A second flywheel that spins at a faster rate, and that increases the airflow to get those chips out of that machine. And one of the problems I've had is trying to chip evergreens, and it gets clogged up. Now, it may still get clogged up because evergreens are stringy and difficult, like cedar and pine. So I don't know for sure if it's going to help with that. I'm hoping it does. But I've got this wood chipper coming, and you're going to see that on the channel. I'm going to do a comparison to the standard WC68 to this TF68 Pro, and see really if it's that much better. For now, they're making both units. So if you're going to buy one, you can buy the WC or buy this other one. Obviously, it costs more because it's an upgraded model. But for now, they're selling both models, and I love that wood chipper. It's one of my favorite attachments. You've seen me use it a lot, talk about it a lot, and anytime I use it, it's just fun. I say it's therapeutic to just stand there feeding branches in. I like it a lot. So stay tuned for that. I've got that. I also have a new land plane to try out here from Artillion. They started making land planes a couple years ago, which was a fun surprise to find out because I had borrowed my neighbor's everything attachments land plane, which is extremely well built, but I didn't have one of my own. Now I have an Artillion land plane, and I'm going to be redoing the driveway soon because every year we want to stir up the stones, bring them back to the surface, and so I've got that to show you as well. Lots of good stuff coming up. So, and Dave, you wanted to hear about the solar project. Maybe I'll talk about that on a live stream. I also think I'll probably make a video at some point because I have some footage of the install. I just don't know how to talk about it just yet. And we're watching the function of the solar. We got our first electric bill. I'll tell you this: you don't get no electric bill. How do you say that? You still get an electric bill is what I'm trying to say, because you're tied into the grid. Our system doesn't have battery backup. You're tied into the grid. So you're basically paying for that connection because on days when it's overcast or if it snows and the solar panels are generating zero, you've got to pull electric from the grid. So you have the benefit of being connected to the grid. So you have to pay for that. Anyway, our first electric bill was $6. Our second electric bill was $7. It's like it's still kind of balancing out. And that's kind of where we should be going forward, $6 to $7 electric bills. Maybe in the wintertime when the days are short and gray, we might be using more than we're producing. And that's how the system is set up, so that in the summertime you produce more than you use. In the wintertime you use more than you produce. And it balances out because you kind of build up a credit. Anyway, I'm learning all this as I go. And so far, we're happy with the first $6 electric bill. The idea is so that we can stay in New Jersey and retire here and keep our costs down as much as possible. Yes, Margaret, thank you. 4th of July weekend is coming up. Is it the weekend or is it a daytime thing this year? 4th of July happens on Friday coming up. So happy Independence Day. Happy anniversary to me and Anne. This will be our 29th wedding anniversary, July 4th, 1996. We were married, as we say, we were united on Independence Day. And 29 years. Tomorrow's the big tomorrow. Next year is the big 3-0. So, yeah, exciting stuff. So I hope that you have a great 4th of July weekend coming up. If you're traveling, please be safe. If you're not traveling, enjoy, be safe. If you're hanging out with family, just enjoy every moment of that. And if you're whatever, friends, family, whatever it is, just have a great time and enjoy it and celebrate Independence Day. Try not to talk about politics. I know it's a holiday based on our country here, but at any rate, keep it light and enjoy your family. Don't talk about politics. If you don't like your family, just enjoy the hot dogs and hamburgers and you'll have a good time with that. So I do hope you have a great holiday weekend and a great week. Stay tuned to the channel. I do appreciate you coming back to this live stream time and time again. It means the world to me. When you watch the videos as they come out, I just can't thank you enough because, hey, you watching the videos pays the bills. That's how it works. This is as fun as this is. YouTube is a business for a lot of us out here doing it, and your support, it may not cost you anything. It does cost you your time, but I want to be here to provide something to you, whether it be information or at best entertainment. And I do appreciate it. I do, I love you. What can I say? It means the world to me. Thanks so much. Have a great week. And thanks for watching. And as always, I look forward to seeing you next time.